Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about an intro to graphing. We're going to talk about ordered pairs, inputs and outputs, and how to actually graph using rules. Okay, so what is an ordered pair? An ordered pair has two parts. It has one number that is in the first position called x, and then it has a second number in the second position called y. And x lets us know how far to move left or right. If it's a negative number, it tells us to move left. If it's a positive number, it tells us to move right. And the second number is y, and that tells us how much to move up if it's positive or down if it's negative. So the first number, left and right. Second number, up and down. So now let's practice describing how we would move, how we would tell someone to move with this point right here. So sometimes it helps to label it X and Y, and maybe I'll just do this in black just to keep it neutral. So remember, this one tells us how much to move left or right. Since it's negative, it moves left. Okay, so we move left 1. And then this number is positive, so that means up. Okay, so remember that the negative corresponds to left and down. Maybe I'll write this up here. Negative is left/down, depending on if we're in the first or the second position. And positive means right/up. So we have left 1 because of that, and then up 3 because the 3 is positive. Okay. Alright, so we have x, y, so this tells us right, because it's positive, right 4, and then this tells us down 6, because it's negative. Okay. This point tells us that we are not moving in the x and y direction, because 0 means stay still. So 0 means stay still in the x direction. And negative 5 in the y direction means go down 5. So don't move left or right. And then this tells us to go down 5. Okay, how about this one? So this first number tells us it's positive, and that means we're going to the right. So we're going to the right 20. And then we don't move because this is 0. And then don't move up or down. Okay. Now we have negative 1, negative 2. So first number tells us to go left. So this tells us to go left 1 because it's negative. And then this number is also negative, so it tells us to go down. Down 2. So we go left 1, down 2. That's what that point is telling us to do. Okay, so that was that point. What about this guy? So this guy, both x and y are positive. So the first number is x. That's positive 3. That means go to the right. And we're going to the right 3. And then this number is also positive. That means go up. So we go the right 3, up 4. Okay. So this, with the graph paper, and these are what are called axes. These, basically these lines that make a cross are called axes. This vertical one, this up and down one, is called the y-axis, because that's up and down, right? And remember, y is our second number that tells us whether to go up or down. And the one that it goes from left to right like this is our x-axis. And then so the cross splits up this page into 4 quadrants. So we have quadrant 1 is this first square, like right here. And then here we have quadrant 2. This is the second square. Quadrant 3 is the square down here. And finally, quadrant 4 is down here. So, like, you can be in one of these 4 quadrants. Now, your x and your y, so when I say x, I mean the thing that moves left to right. The first number in your ordered pair is always x. Now, whenever you're in each of these quadrants, I can tell you something about the sign, whether you went up and then, or sorry, whether you went to the left and up, whether you went, right and then up, right and then down, left and then down, or whatever. So the way to think about it, like what the signs are in each quadrant, is to start in the middle. So say you're in the middle right here, and you want to get into this square. How do you do it? You have to go to the right and then up. There's no other way to do it. So right and then up, or you could go up and to the right, but we always go left to right first. So since we went to the right, that means x is positive. Since we went up, that means y is positive. Okay, so same thing with quadrant 2. I want to get here, and so I have to go to the left, which corresponds to a negative, up, which corresponds to a positive. And so the left corresponding to a negative corresponds to x being negative, and the up corresponding to positive corresponds to this. What about quadrant 3? How should I move to get into quadrant 3? Well, I need to go to the left and then down. So the left corresponds to a negative, down corresponds to negative, which means that both x and y are negative. And finally, quadrant 4. I go to the right to get in there, and then I go down, which is negative. So right means x is positive, down means y is negative, just as we see there. So those are all of my signs for each of those quadrants. Okay, so here are directions we want to plot each of the points. So let's start with this point P, which is 1, 2. We always start from the middle. That's called the origin. And it says to go to the right 1 and then up 2. That's what this says. Go to the right 1 and then up 2. We read it from left to right. Go to the right 1, go up 2. So we go to the right 1 and we go up 2. 1, 2, and then we plot our point. So that is point P, and you can erase that if you want and just label it here as P. Okay, that's done. Let's do Q. So Q says, so again, we start from left to right first. We go to the left because it's negative, 3, and then we go up 1 because y is positive. So we start at the middle, go to the left 3, 1, 2, 3, and then from there go up 1. So we end right here. So this is the point Q, negative 3, 1. All right, let's do R. So R says, don't move left or right, and then go up 3. That's what that says. So don't move left or right, then go up 3. 1, 2, 3. So here we are. That is going to be R. Maybe I should have did this in green. All right, so that's done. Now let's do S. So S says, go to the left, because it's negative 5, then go down 1. Okay, because that's negative. So go to the left 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then go down 1, 1. So that's where I'm at. This is S. Okay. T is go to the left 2, but don't move up or down. That's what that says. Go to the left 2, so 1, 2, don't move up or down, so stay right there. That's T. All right. U says from the middle, go to the right 3, then go down 4. So from the middle, go to the right 3, 1, 2, 3, then go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here I am at U. So that is how we can plot all of these points. And notice what quadrant each one of these falls in. So P is in quadrant 1. That's why both X and Y are positive. These on the axis don't really correspond to a quadrant. But Q is in quadrant 2, and so X is negative, Y is positive, just like we have right up here. X is negative, Y is positive. And S is in quadrant 3, both X and Y are negative. U is in quadrant 4, X is positive, Y is negative. So that's how you plot points on the plane. Let's do some more practice with this. It says plot the point when X equals 3, Y equals 1. So we always start in the middle, and we always start with our X value. Okay, so X says move to the right 3, so we go 1, 2, 3 from the middle. Then from there, Y says go up 1. So go up 1, and that's our point right there. Alright, next one says plot the point when X is negative 1, Y is 4. So when X is negative 1, we go to the left 1. So from the middle, we go to the left 1. Then we go up 4 because that's positive. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is our next point right there. And then we can erase this stuff. So green and orange points. Okay. Alright. Now we have this table, so we have X's and Y's. These are all ordered pairs. We can plot them. So we can, as a table, we can write this as 0, 2. Right, that's our X and our Y. We can write this as 1, 4. We can write this as, well, what's the question mark? What's the pattern? 2, 4, something, 8. That has to be 6, right? So this is going to be X is 2, Y is 6, and then finally X is 3, Y is 8. So we can plot all of these, just kind of eyeball it because we don't have graph paper here. When X is 0, Y is 2, we start in the middle. We don't move left or right because X is 0, and then Y is 2, so we go up 1, 2, and we plot our point there. This is going to be a pretty rough sketch. So just bear with me there. So that's that point. Then we have 1, 4. So when X is 1, we go to the right 1, and then we go up 1, 2, 3, 4 to get that next point. When X is 2, Y is 6. So we're kind of going off the page here, but it's okay. And then we finally go to 8. It's a terrible picture. Maybe I should have done that. I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that this is a line, so it's going to look something like this with all of our points on the line. Okay, how about the next one? When X is 0, Y is 1. When X is 1, what is Y? Well, Y, they tell us, is take X and add 1 to it. That's what Y is. So Y, if X is 1, the corresponding Y is 1 plus 1, because I took my X and I just put it in there, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So the ordered pairs I have, the first one was 0, 1, right? That's this ordered pair. Then I have 1, 2. I just found the second one from using the rule up here. And the third one is given to be 2, 3. This one tells us, okay, Y is going to be X plus 1. X is 3. Y is 3 plus 1. So Y is 4. So we have 3, 4 is another one. So if I do a rough sketch of what these ordered pairs look like, I get something like this. Again, I have a line right here. Okay, so let's practice graphing some lines with tables of values. So if it helps you, you can separate all of these into ordered pairs. So like the first one says when X is 0, Y is 1. So if you want to write that as an ordered pair, you can. That's 0, 1. Second one says when X is 1, Y is 4. So as an ordered pair, that's 1, 4. And we have when X is 2, Y is 7. So again, first numbers are x, second numbers are y. We have our x as our left to right axis, y is our up and down. So I'm going to start with this point. This tells me, we always start with x. This tells me don't move in the x direction from the middle, but then go up 1. Okay? So starting at the middle, we don't move in the x direction, but then we go up 1 in the y direction. So that's my point there. Okay, for the orange point, 1, 4. So this says go to the right because x is positive. Go to the right 1. So we go 1 to the right from the middle. Then go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's my orange point at 1, 4. My blue point says go to the right 2, then go up 7. So from the middle, I go to the right 2, 1, 2, and then from there, I go up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is my point right there. And then I can connect the dots, and it makes a nice little line. Let's try this one, and I'm going to use the coordinate grid again. So, again, if it helps you, go ahead and translate these all to ordered pairs. So this is -4, 3, -2, 3, 4, 3, and 6, 3. So this is our x and our y's. So for this first one, -4, 3, if we start at the middle, the -4 says go to the left 4. So from the middle, go to the left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this says go up 3. 1, 2, 3. So there I am. Okay. Next point is x is -2, y is 3. So from the middle, go to the left 2. 1, 2. Then go up 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we did that one. So the next one is 4, 3. Now from the middle, since x is +4, we go to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then go up 3. 1, 2, 3. And finally, when x is 6, y is 3. So we go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go up 1, 2, 3, and we're right here. Connect the dots, and we see the straight horizontal line right here. All right, let's try this one. So again, I'm just going to translate these to ordered pairs. X is -6, y is 5, x is -3, y is 1, x is 0, y is -3, x is 3, y is -7. These are x, y's. And so the first one tells me to go the left 6 because it's negative. So from the middle, go the left 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, next one says go to the left 3 and then go up 1. So we go to the left 1, 2, 3, then go up 1, 1. Next one says don't move in the x direction, but go down 3 in the y direction. So we don't move left to right, but we do go down 1, 2, 3. And finally, go to the right 3 and then go down 7. So from the middle, again, this is my middle point. We go to the right 3, 1, 2, 3, then we go down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I can erase all my scratch work here and then connect the dots, and I do get a straight line. Okay, let's try this one. It says make a table of values to find 3 points on the line, then graph the line. So now we don't have a table, but we can definitely make one because we know what y equals in terms of x. So for these, when you're not given a table, when not given a table, you choose your x's. You choose your x's. Any x values you want. I usually keep them pretty simple. So they're asking for 3 points, so I'm going to choose 0, 1, and 2 for my x values. You could have picked other ones. It doesn't matter. As long as it fits on this picture, it's good. So when x is equal to 0, this rule says, hey, when x is equal to 0, y is equal to -2 times 0 plus 1, right? It's just x is 0, so wherever we see an x, we replace with a 0. So y is equal to -2 times 0 plus 1. And -2 times 0 is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1, so we have 1 as y. So our ordered pair here is when x is 0, 1 is y, because we plugged x into this rule that gives us a y. Okay, so there's our first ordered pair. Now the second ordered pair, when x is 1, what happens with y? Well, now we need to plug in 1 for x to see what the number we get when we do that is for y. So we have -2 times 1. I'm just replacing 1 wherever I see an x, plus 1. And this is -2 plus 1 is equal to -1. So when x is 1, y is -1. So that's our second ordered pair. And finally, this time x is 2. So what is y when x is 2? Well, we just plug in 2 for x. So we get -2 times 2 plus 1. -4 plus 1 is -3. So when x is 2, y is -3. So now we just plot all of these points. So the first one is 0, 1. So starting at the middle, we don't move in the x direction, we move up 1 in the y direction. Second point is 1, -1. So we go to the right 1, and then we go down 1. And then the third point is to the right 2. So 1, 2, down 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we can connect our dots to make this line. Alright, let's try this one. So again, we're choosing our x because there's no table of values here. I like to keep it simple and just usually do like 0, 1, 2. So we can do that. Just choose our own x. And our rule is up here. That tells us what we need the corresponding y to be. So the rule says y is equal to 4 times x, which in this case is 0, minus 1. 0 minus 1 is -1. So one ordered pair that we have is x is 0, y is -1. Okay. Second ordered pair is when x is 1. When x is 1, if I plug 1 in for x, I get 4 times 1 minus 1, and that's going to give us 3. So another ordered pair is when x is 1, y is 3. So when x is 1, y is 3. And finally, when x is 2, we plug in 2 in for x into this rule up here. So we have, oops, I didn't mean to put 2 there. I meant to put 4. We have 4 times 2 minus 1. That's 8 minus 1 is 7. So another ordered pair is 2, 7. So let's go ahead and graph all of these. So starting at the middle, x is 0, y is -1. So we don't move in the x direction, we go down 1. Second one is when x is 1, y is 3. So starting at the middle, go to the right 1, then go up 3. 1, 2, 3. And finally, go to the right 2 and go up 7. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'll just erase the little scratch work dots, connect the dots here, and I get my line. Alright, let's try something like this. So again, x, choose my own adventure for x. I like 0 because if I plug in 0 for x, that's going to go to 0. That's nice. I don't like 1 though, because if I plug in 1 for x, I get a fraction. So, but what I do notice is that if I plug in 2 for x, that's going to clear the denominator. So I'm going to choose 2 to be my x there. Also, if I pick 3, that's going to give me a fraction, 1/2 times 3. But if I pick 4, that's going to clear the denominator. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So I'm going to pick x is 4 as well. So 0, 2, and 4 are good x values. No fractions. I'm trying not to get a y value with a fraction. So when x is 0, y is 1/2 times 0. I'm just plugging in 0 anywhere I see an x. And then 1/2 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 1 is minus 1. So an ordered pair here, an x comma y, is when x is 0. When I plugged it into the rule, I got y was -1. Okay. Alright, for this one, I do the same thing. I'm just plugging in 2 this time. So 1/2 times 2 minus 1. And 1/2 times 2 is 1, right? Because 1/2 times 2 is 2 over 1. Cross divide, get 1. So this becomes 1 minus 1, right? 1 minus 1 is 0. So another ordered pair is 2, 0. And finally, when x is equal to 4, I get y equals 1/2. And instead of x, I'm writing 4 minus 1. Now 1/2 times 4. Remember why I picked that? So that it would clear the denominators. So if I cross divide by 2, 2 goes into itself once, 2 goes into 4 twice, I get 2 over 1 is 2. Alright, so my third and final ordered pair here is when x is 4, y is 2. So let me go ahead and graph these guys. First, when x is 0, y is -1. So starting at the middle, we go nowhere left to right, and we go down 1. Then when x is 2, y is 0. So from the middle, we go to the right 1, 2, but we don't move up or down, so that stays there. And then when x is 4, y is 2, so we go to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, then we go up 2, 1, 2 to give us this point right here. Then we can connect the dots. Let's see. Is that gonna connect? Yeah. Okay, there's my line. Alright, let's try a few more. So again, we have a fraction here. So let's make our table. We want to pick 3 nice points without, that's going to clear the fraction basically when we plug it in for x. So 0 is always a good bet because if I plug in 0 for x, that clears to 0. 1, if I plug in 1 for x, I'm going to get a fraction. I don't like that. When I plug in 2 for x, I'm going to get a fraction. When I plug in 3 for x, I'm not going to get a fraction. So I'm going to choose 3. Because, 3 is going to cross divide with that 3. What about 4? 4 is not going to cross divide with that 3. 5, no. 6 will. 6 will cross divide with that 3. So let's find our corresponding y values. So the rule says take negative 2/3, multiply it by your x, and then add 3. So we have negative 2/3 times our x, which is 0, plus 3. Of course, that goes to 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. So one ordered pair is 0, 3. Okay. Next one, we have negative 2/3 times 3 plus 3. Okay, let's do it over here. 2/3 times 3/1. These cross divide to give us negative 2. So negative 2 plus 3, right? This is negative 2 plus 3 is positive 1. So another ordered pair is 3, 1. And finally, when x is 6, we have negative 2/3 times 6 plus 3. So scratch work, negative 2/3 times 6/1. The 3 and the 6 cross divides, that's why I picked 6 to begin with. So 3 goes into itself once, 3 goes into 6 twice, multiply straight across to give me negative 4/1, which is just negative 4. So negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. So when x is 6, y is negative 1. Now let's go ahead and plot these points. So when x is 0, y is 3. Starting at the middle, so moving nowhere left to right, y is 1, 2, 3, right here. When x is 3, y is 1, so starting at the middle, 1, 2, 3, go up 1. When x is 6, y is negative 1, so starting at the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then down 1 for that negative. And that's our line. That's our graph. What about this one? This is kind of weird. There's no rule. So we have x, we have y. So x, I can just pick 0, 1, 2 because there's really no x here. What's y going to be? Well, this rule says y is always going to be 3. Who cares what x is? It doesn't say who cares, but y is always going to be 3 no matter what x is. There's no x involved, so y is 3. That's what it is. So 3, 3, 3. So our ordered pairs are 0, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3. This is x, y. So graphing these, when x is 0, y is 3. Starting at the middle, x is moving nowhere left to right, but we're going up 1, 2, 3. When x is 1, y is 3. 1, 2, 3, so we're right here. When x is 2, y is 3, we're right there. So this is going to be our line right there. What about this one? X is 1. Okay, so this says, you know, x is always 1. Y can be whatever we want, but x is always 1, so I'm just picking random y's. How about 0, 1, 3? I just picked the y's because it says, hey, x has to be 1. Make sure x is 1, and that's the only constraint. So our ordered pairs are 1, 0, 1, 1, and 1, 3. Again, those are x, y's. And if we graph these, so 1, 0 is right here, 1, 1 is right here, 1, 3 is right here, and so it makes a line that goes this way. Okay, so there's our line. Alright, what about this one? So this time we have a traditional rule, so there's no weird, like, you know, there's no one single number that's repeating, like the last two. So we do have to pick our x's because x and y depend on each other. You can see that here. How about 0, 1, 2 for x? There's no fraction, so I'm not really worried about picking other numbers other than the standard 0, 1, 2. For the first one, when x is 0, y is going to be negative 0 plus 3. Now, negative 1 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 3 is 3, so this is 3. So our first x comma y is 0 comma 3. And then the next one, when x is 1, we get y equals negative 1 plus 3. So negative 1 plus 3 is going to give us 2. So our ordered pair is 1 comma 2. And finally, when x is equal to 2, we get y equals negative, plug in that 2 for x, negative 2 plus 3, and that's going to give me 1. So my ordered pair is 2 comma 1. So if I graph these guys, first of all, 0, 3, x is 0, y is 3, 1, 2, 3. X is 1, y is 2, so that's going to be right here. I just went 1 to the right, 2 up. Okay, when x is 2, y is 1, so 2 to the right, 1 up, to give me that point right there. And that is my line. I can connect the dots like so.